Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Dom here from Lens Pro 2 Go and Lens Rentals, and welcome back to the channel. So in this week's video, I'm going to be walking you through a cinematography lighting breakdown of a dinner table scene. So I figure that in every filmmaker or video creator's career, they're going to encounter a dinner table scene, or at least a scene that is very similar. So I thought it would be cool in this video to show you guys how I would approach a scene like this. So to do this, I actually wrote a super short film and headed over to my friend's house, who has a great looking dining room that I thought would be awesome to do this little test shoot in. So as I walk you through this lighting breakdown, I'm going to be doing my best to explain to you my lighting process and also why I made some of the decisions that I made on this shoot. So let's dive right in. So one thing I knew going into the shoot is that I was going to need one large soft source to act as a strong fill for my actors. So to do this, I put a Westcott Flex 1x1 in a drum softbox and rigged it so it was hanging right next to the pre-existing chandelier. This single light ended up pulling most of the weight on the shoot. I pretty much only used my other lights for shaping and not really that much for fill at all. That made sense because a goal of mine on the shoot was to create a dramatic difference in brightness from my subjects and the background. This means I could really crank up the drum light and turn up my ND to get that background to drop but still keep a shallow depth of field. There was still a bit of spill on the background to control though, and I was only using the bottom of the drum box. The sides were mostly flagged off. This shot was particularly challenging, but I'm happy with how it turned out. I wanted to provide a nice glow for the couple's two-shot while maintaining the steep ratio on the walls next to them to stay consistent with the previous shots. To do this, I used two black flags to create this thin sliver of illumination that only lit the subjects in the doorway and nothing else. This was challenging for her solo shot though, because framing wise, I wanted her to hang by the record player to keep a bit of negative space to her left, but also she had like no room to move around because the shadow line was very close to her head on the right, and I couldn't really do anything about that. I also brought a few Felix 360 lights for backlighting and accent lighting. These were nice to have to add a little catch light on my subjects and help separate them from the background. In this shot, I used them to motivate this off-screen lamp, pointing one up at the ceiling and the other right at the side of these curtains to help reveal their shape a bit, and to help give this character's shot a little bit of depth. Also, the Felix light came in handy to fill in this character's shot while he was at the record player. All I had to do was drop a scrim to cut out the bottom half of that light from catching on the player itself. Lastly, I brought a Kino Flo Celeb, which worked really nicely to add a touch of light in the background and in these shots, the back hallway. In this two-shot, I pointed the Kino a little bit more deliberately towards the dining room to give these two some backlighting. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this cinematography lighting breakdown of a dinner table scene. So if you have any questions about my lighting process or any of the gear that I used on this shoot, or if you're thinking about doing a similar shoot on your own soon, drop a comment in the comment section and we'll start a discussion about how we think a shoot like this should be approached. Also, if you like that video, make sure you hit that like button, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel to stay tuned in for more weekly content. And we'll see you in the next one.